All right, let's warm up our ears just a little bit, shall we? So let's do some intervals. We'll start with simple, and then we'll move to compound. All right, Alex, what is this interval, please? You're really close. You hear the distance, and you hear that it has an affect. Let's count the steps, shall we? And let's start with a major key. It's a major, which means it's a major 6. Good. In contrast, the minor 6 would have sounded like this. Okay. Alrighty. Good though. Very close. Andy, your turn. What is this? I want to say you're right. Good, very good. You hear that it's dissonant. It clashes a lot of overtones, but it's not as close as one of our seconds. And it's not as far as one of our sevenths. Right? It's in the middle. Good, very good. Gage, your turn. It is a minor 7th, right? That helped you. So if it's a big interval and you're having trouble really getting the exact one, don't think the low interval up to it because that's a lot farther away, right? Think the higher octave. So this was the D, think this one, and then count down by half steps or whole steps. Either is fine. Good, you got it, minor 7th. Alrighty, Zach. Was ist das? What is this? What did you say? Negative. Consonant, dissonant, or neutral? It's neutral, right? So it's either got to be a 4th, 5th, or octave, or unison. 4th, good, perfect 4th, excellent. Cameron, what is this? Okay, so think the octave, and this is what I gave you. How far away is it from that octave? What kind of 7th? Really close to the octave, or not too close to the octave? Really close, right, so it's a major 7th, Dr. Velez. Yes, Cameron, it's a major 7th, right? Half step from the octave. Okay, good. Corbin, what is this? It is not a third, so our thirds would be, here's minor 3rd, major 3rd, here's your interval. Is it greater than a 3rd? Right. And it's neutral, right? There's no chord that has an affect of consonants to it. So it's got to be a 4th or a 5th. Which one do you think it is? Perfect 5th. Good, very good. Jeez. Your turn. What is this? Good, major third. Do, re, mi. Excellent, very good. Kyra, what is this interval? Perfect octave. Easy one. But you're going to get it anyway. Michael, what's this? Good. What kind of six? Major. Excellent. Very good. Alrighty. Lindsay, what interval is this? Consonant, dissonant, or neutral? It is dissonant, yeah, isn't it? Now, is it close enough to be a second, far enough to be a seventh, or in the middle, and thus a tritone? It's a tritone. Very good, very good. Seconds, sevenths, and tritone. Good. All right, Rowan, last one, not least. What is this? How about that? Sure. You can either think up the scale, or you can think the upper octave. What's our interval? What kind of seventh? It is minor. Right? So here's the octave. Here's major. Really pretty, right? Minor. Less pretty. Kind of pleasant, actually. And since we talked about this in music theory class, another way to help with your minor sevenths is think the outline of a dominant seventh chord. Right? It's right there. Just take away the third and the fifth, and this is what you get. The minor seventh. Works like a charm. Sweet. All right. Let's do some qualities. And I may use inversions, but I'm only looking for the quality for the moment. So it's with major, minor, diminished, or augmented. We'll start with triads. All right. And anyone can answer these. What is the quality of this chord? Major. What is the quality of this chord? Sorry. Who thinks it's diminished? Who thinks it's augmented? The augmenteds have it. It is augmented. Let's listen to the quality again. Right? It's unstable, and diminished chords are also unstable. But this one is very bright, right? And it kind of wants to maybe open a little bit outwards, perhaps. So. Now, if this were diminished with the same lowest note, this is what it would sound like. Right? Diminished triads fold inward, augmented triads fold outwards. Okay, if that's helpful for you. What's the quality of this chord? Minor is correct. What about this? Think the notes in your head. Da, 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 da. It's diminished, okay? And diminished chords built on two minor thirds. Augmented triads are built on what? Two major thirds. Good. Totally different sound. All right, what's this? It is major. It's just spaced apart and inverted. Closer together in root position would sound like this. That's easy to figure out, right? But just be ready for that, because harmony is not always spelling for this chord could be something like this. Same triad, same 3 notes, same root, same quality, but less stable. And then here's another possibility. That's how this. Really strong. That root position makes a big difference. Okay. What about this? It's a quality there. Who thinks this is major? Minor. Diminished? Augmented? It is a minor triad. This is G minor. Here's the root. Here's the third. And the fifth. In position. So the stability of the chord, or the inversion, makes a huge difference. Let's talk about the stability for just a second. Is this chord stable or unstable? Raise your hand if this is stable to your ears, that it can sit right here. Unstable. It's stable. This is a root position, D minor triad. Now, if I invert this, and again, less and less stable. And now if I spread out the notes, that was the same inversion, second inversion, right? But the more spread out the notes are, the less stable it becomes. Okay? What about this? Stable or unstable? Can I just sit here on this chord like this forever? Raise your hand if this is stable to your ears. Unstable. Sing do of this triad. Do. Sing the bass note. Do. Right over here. So this is not in a root position. What inversion is this? Second. Right. In root position. In second inversion. Okay. Keep practicing those. So a couple 7th chords, just for fun, because I think this is a lot of fun. What quality is this 7th chord? We remember we have how many varieties of 7th chords? 5. Major, 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 minor or dominant, minor, minor, half diminished, fully diminished. Let's go through them again. Major, major 7. Take a major triad. Add a major 7th. Major, minor 7. Take the major triad. Add a minor 7th. This is also known as the dominant 7th. Who's going crazy right now? You should be, because this is what you were expecting after that chord, right? It's a 5-7 in a particular key. Dominant 7s are also major minor 7s. Minor minor 7, we're going to take this major 3rd and make it minor and keep the minor 7th. Minor minor 7th chord. Half diminished, we're now going to reduce the perfect 5th to a diminished 5th and keep the minor 7th. And this is half diminished 7. And now I'm going to decrease the 7th from a minor 7th to a diminished 7th. Which is built entirely on minor 3rds. And basically inverts to the same thing every single time. Alright, so now that you know everything about 7th chords, what quality is this 7th chord? It is a major 7th chord. Right, major triad and a major 7th. It's a very bright chord, beautiful chord, very bright, okay? Same root, here is, I'll do the minor variety of this. this one? What quality is this? Who thinks this is major, major 7? Major, minor, or dominant 7? Minor, minor 7? Half diminished? Fully diminished? What is this? Zach, what is this? Minor, minor 7. Good. And this. Chase, what does this sound like to you? Major triad bass or minor triad bass or diminished bass? Sorry? Major, right. So is it a major, major 7 or a major, minor 7? It's major, minor 7. Okay. 50-50 chance. Good, you went for it though. And Kyra, what about this one? Major triad, minor triad, or diminished bass? Diminished bass, good. And does it have a minor 7th or a diminished 7th? Negative. It's a fully diminished 7. Okay? Yeah. Practice those. They're fun. Oh, 7th chords. Those tricksy 7th chords. All right. I'm going to clap a rhythm. Please clap it back. Let's start with that one. Now, this is good. Great. Let's see how much of this you can remember. That's good. All right, here's your rhythm. One, two, ready, and. Pretty darn good for one hearing. Very good, very good. One more time, listen to it. One, two, ready, and. Flawless victory. Good listening. Very good. What about this one? One, two, three. Very, very good. What about this? One, two, three. All right. Now get your pencils ready. Your time signature is 4/8 time. 4/8 time. And this example is going to be 6 measures long. Okay? 6 measures of 4/8. Just rhythm. Yeah, don't have to worry about any pitches. And I'm going to play it on a C4. And the reason why I'm playing it rather than clapping it is so you can hear the full value of the notes. Okay? Otherwise, for example, this could be an 8th note, whereas this is a quarter note. And there's a difference there, okay? So I'm gonna play the rhythm just on a C4, but don't worry so much about the pitch. Really just go for the rhythm here, okay? So again, 6 measures, 4/8 time. I won't give you any note values, so let's see if we can figure it out. I will count out 1 measure of 4/8 for nothing. Everyone ready? Let's do this. 1 measure for nothing. 1, 2, ready, and. So again, with dictation, I recommend for the first hearing, just kind of let it, hit you, take it in, try to memorize whatever of it that you can. Let's listen again, and then we'll clap it together, okay? 1, 2, ready, and. Let's clap it together, whatever you can remember, okay? 4 for nothing. 1, 2, ready, and. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and write. Does anyone have a complete example and they feel real solid about their answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who's got all but 1 or 2 measures and they feel pretty good about it? That's good, that's good. I'll play it one more time and then we'll go over it, okay? 1, 2, ready, and. Alrighty, Cameron, give us some rhythms, please.
So it's a quarter note.
Yep.
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 Two eighth notes in the quarter note.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 eighth notes, quarter note, 2 more eighth notes, and 2 quarter notes.
Very good. So quarter, quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, eighth, 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 quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, quarter, half note. Awesome. Who nailed it? Smashing. Absolutely smashing. Good, good. Yeah, pretty easy stuff. Let's move on to some pitch-related things so we have time for everything. Go ahead and set up let's do a treble staff. Yeah, treble staff. 1, 2. Let's keep this one simple and see how well we do. 1, 2, 3. 6 measures total. So treble clef, 6 measures, 4/4 time, in the key of C major. So again, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, 5 measures. Did I say 5 or 6? I probably said 6. It's 5 measures. I was blind without my glasses on. So 5 measures, treble clef, C major, 4/4 time. And your first pitch is a quarter note C4. Quarter note C4 to start with, okay? So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward, but again, we don't do a whole lot of dictation, so just to sort of, get used to it, then we'll start with something simple and then move on from there, okay? I'll count 2 measures of 4/4 for nothing. Again, on the first hearing, focus on a few things. The trajectory of the melody, does it go upwards, does it go downwards, some combination thereof. Do we end on the same note that we began on? That's really important, okay? And what's the basic range of the example? Is it like within an octave? Or is it more than that? Okay, Okay, melodies can span a little space or a lot of space, so try to keep that in mind as well. Another thing to think about, are there any patterns, rhythmic patterns, melodic patterns that you can latch onto, okay? So keep all of those things in mind. Here's your tonal center of C major. And here's your first note. Quarter note, middle C. 2 measures of 4/4 for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, before going writing crazy, again, let's talk a little bit about it, process it first. First things first, do we begin and end on the same note? Who says yes? Anybody say no? And is anyone not sure? Which is okay. All right, good. So we do begin and end on middle C. Awesome. Next, what's the trajectory of the melody? Does it go mostly upwards? Does it go downwards? Does it not really go anywhere? Yeah, it kind of arcs upwards and then it goes back down. Sure, so you've got a really natural phrase arc. Very, very good. Also, did anyone catch any patterns, rhythmic patterns, melodic patterns, or both? Yeah, Gage, what'd you catch?
It kind of goes like ba da da da, and then it's the same thing up, and then it keeps going up.
You've got a 4/4 note melody/rhythmic pattern for the first few bars. That's pretty consistent. Good. Let's listen to it again. Now, have fun writing. 2 bars for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, and. Now I'm going to play it again, and this time I'm going to actually sustain the notes that happen on the downbeat. I'm going to sustain downbeat notes while still playing the whole thing. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, and. This is in the second measure. 1, 2, ready, and. Anything interesting about those downbeats? Anything at all that you noticed? Alex? Well, not exactly. You're on the right track though. Not at the scale. What's that? Right. The downbeats outline the C major tonic triad. So if you listen for the downbeats, then that also gives you a lot of helpful hints. Okay? So essentially, every downbeat pitch is a member of the C major triad. Easy peasy. Let's listen again. One more time, then we'll go over it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready, and. Kyra, do you have the pitches for every measure?
Yeah.
I figured you would. Can you give me the notes, please?
Okay. For the first measure, it's 4 quarter notes, so it's C, D, E, D.
Good.
And then the second measure, it's again 4 quarter notes, E, F, G, F.
Good.
And then again 4 quarter notes, G, A, G, F.
Good.
And then 2 half notes, E, and then D, and then a whole note on C.
Excellent. Everyone catch that? Sweet. Let's solfege it all together. Solfege syllables, Kerwin hand signs, please. Singing all together. 1, 2, ready, and. Do, re, mi, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, sol, la, si, re, do. Excellent. Make sure you have the right notes down. Good practice. Pretty easy? Who nailed it? Okay, who got all but one measure, roughly? All right, good. Let's do another one, and this time let's up the bar a little bit. Yeah, sure. All right, set up your staff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bass clef. 5 total measures. Key of B flat major. B flat major. 3/4 time. And your first note is a quarter note, B flat 3. So again, bass clef, B flat major, 3/4 time signature, 5 total measures long. And your starting pitch is a quarter note, B flat 3. So remember, for first hearing, just try to listen to it, remember whatever of it you can. Listen for the contour of the melody, the arc of the phrase, where does it go? Do we begin, end on the same note? And are there any melodic rhythmic patterns that you can latch on to? 2 measures of 3/4 for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, and. So after first hearing, who can tell me what the contour of the melody is? Where's the trajectory of the phrase? Upwards, downwards, does it kind of, right, it goes downward. Exactly, Lindsay, yeah, so it just really falls down into the range. So do we begin and end on the same note? It's an octave apart, very good. So our last note is an octave lower than our first note, very, very good. And were there any discernible patterns that would help you figure this out, or was it just kind of just a regular phrase? Anything at all? In this case, not really. There's no consistent patterns or anything, you just gotta kind of listen, but it's also not that bad. Let's listen again. 2 measures for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, and. Let's listen again. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, and. at this juncture, raise your hand if you have a complete answer that you feel confident about. What if you have all but one measure? All but 2 bars? All right, and does anyone have 2 bars or fewer? Okay, let's listen one more time and then we'll put it together. And feel free to audiate along if you need to, like hum, sing, etc., okay? 2 bars for nothing. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, and. And who has pitches for us? Cameron, what do you have?
So, quarter notes, there's B flat, and then A, and then goes to G.
Yep.
F,
Yep.
F,
Okay.
B flat, and then goes D, and then C after,
Mhm.
followed by a quarter note C, and then B.
Good. Right. So let's go ahead and sing it all together. 2 bars for nothing. On solfege, signs and syllables, please. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, and. Nice. Good. Make sure you have that down. Very good, very good. All right. Now, I'd like for you to set up a grand staff, and by that I mean a treble and bass staff, please. Okay. So this example will be 3 chords long. I'm going to play 3 chords for you. Okay. Your key is C major. And your first chord, your bass note, is C3, an octave below C4. Okay, so that's second space. Your tenor note is going to be a C4, so an octave higher. Your alto note is going to be G4, just above middle C. And your soprano note is going to be E5. So sorry. Slowly, 1 chord at a time. So when you're listening in 4 voices vertically, what I recommend you do is listen for one of the outer voices, preferably the bass, okay? And why would we focus so much on the bass? Why is it important when you're listening for harmony? Zach, is that a hand? Okay, but please no. Why would we care about the bass line so much? Because it's the root of the chords or the foundation of the harmony, Dr. Velez. Very good, savvy student. So even if the harmony isn't necessarily in root position, by discerning what the bass line is, it can give you an idea of what the melody is doing, or what the chords are, okay? So if there's a lot of leaps in the bass line, that means the chords are probably in root position, or mostly in root position. If the bass line is very stepwise and smooth, that means that there's probably a lot of inversions going on, okay? Something to think about. We'll keep it simple for now, though, so it'll be mostly root position harmony. So bass line first, soprano line second, because it's very clear and easy to hear, okay? Cameron?
What the alto voice is?
Sure, your alto voice, G4, okay? But I want you to focus on the outer voices, okay? They're a little bit more important than our inner voices for now, okay? Ultimately, go for all four, but bass and soprano take priority, okay? So 3 chords. Maybe I should figure out what those chords are. Awesome, great. Here we go. And I won't go too fast. Here are your 3 chords. Oh wow, yeah. Let me put my glasses on because I actually read the wrong chords. Problem is, if it fogs on my glasses when I have my mask on. But you need to hear the right notes, so let's do this again. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Okay, again, this time accurately. Let's listen again. So what is our bass voice doing? Can anyone hear the bass notes? Oh, that was in here. Gage, what did you hear?
I heard it going down a fourth in the second one, and then going back up.
So you heard this. Does anyone have a contrary analysis? You're close, Gage. Alex, what do you have?
What I said was C, D,
And then G? Any alternative? Let's listen again. Listen for this bass line. Here we go. Zach. Nope. You start on a 1 chord. Can't start on 2, right? What's that bass line? Alex?
C, D, C.
Negative. A little slower. Here we go. What's the bass line? Let me isolate just the bass and soprano. There we go. It goes up a fifth rather than down a fourth, okay? G is the right note though, Gage, but up versus down does make a difference, okay? Hold progression again. So if our bass line is sol, do, who can tell me what the soprano line is? Who has the soprano? Anybody? All right, let's listen for the soprano line now that we have the bass. Here we go. Andy, what's that soprano line? Mi, re, do. Very good. Pair that with the bass. Very good. Oh man, just about out of time. So let's quickly talk about the quality of these chords. We know that the first chord and the last chord are both C major tonic triads. That's obvious, okay? Now, if the soprano moves down mi, re, do, we know that they're not spelled exactly the same, but we still know that they're both C major tonic triads. In root position too, because we know our bass. What's that middle chord? With a bass note of G and a soprano note of D, based off our harmony in C major, what chord could the second chord be? It's a G major chord. It's a 5 chord or a dominant chord. And, as Alex said, it has a 7th. Right? It's a 5-7 or a dominant 7th chord. And dominant 7th chords, as we talked about when we started studying harmony, they want to resolve to 1. Do you remember the well-formed harmonic progression? Tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. Or you could skip the predominant part, just go tonic, dominant, tonic. So 5-7 is a dominant function chord. And doesn't it very strongly want to resolve? That's why dominants are what they are, because they just really want to push towards the tonic. All right, get those chords down, try to figure out the inner voices. That's all we have time for today. Don't forget, please, Tuesday, sight singing quiz, one at a time, my office, next Tuesday. Next Thursday, written test here, and there'll be some combination of the work we've done. I don't think I'll throw the 4-part harmony to you next Thursday, but you will do a little bit of rhythm and a little bit of melody, okay? All right.